Okay, picking up in step number 7, we're going to use a sum ifs. What we're saying is we want it to add the number of dependents for the criteria Brentwood and landscape design. So I'm going to use my math and trig and scroll down to sum ifs. If you don't know where that formula is, you can always use your insert and search for it. Our sum range is going to be our number of dependents, and we're going to make that an absolute reference. And then our first criteria is the city, so we're going to use the city column, make that an absolute reference, and our criteria is Brentwood. We're going to type that in. Our second one that it has to meet is our department, so I'm going to click and scroll our department and make sure it's an absolute reference. And the department we want is landscape design. If I click up in here, we're going to complete our formula, and it's going to tell me that there are 10 dependents who meet that criteria, both criteria. Next one is our Springfield and Human Resources. So what I'm going to do is click and drag, and then I'm going to come up and change this Brentwood to Springfield. And I'm going to change landscape design to human resources. And it gives us 4. Now, don't mix this up. The next one is number of claims, so we have to change it from our dependents column to our claims column. So if I copy it down, instead of this sum range, we're going to change that to the claims range. And our first criteria will make that an absolute reference. Make sure both of them are. And we want it to be, instead of Springfield, we want it to be Forest Hills and patio and furniture. And I hit OK, and I've got 6. And you can always look at your pictures on the back of your project to make sure your numbers are correct. I'm going to drag that down, so I've already got my correct sum column. I'm just going to change this to skeleton and lawn and maintenance. Now when you hit the end, you have to go back and get rid of it. And there were 0 that met that criteria, which means there were 0 that were skeleton and lawn and maintenance. Step number 8, we're going to use a date value. So we're going to be on the birth dates. In cell D4, or this column, these numbers are imported as text and not as a date format. So that's what we're going to do, is change them to a date value. So we're going to select D4 to D23. We're going to cut and paste them. So I'm going to cut and paste them to G4 and G23. And then in cell H4, that way so we can see it, in H4 we're going to do a date value. So we're going to assign those date value. So what we're doing is we're assigning a serial number to the date. So I hit OK, copy that down. I'm just going to double click and it autofills for me. And then we're going to copy those cells over to back to our date. So H4, we're going to right click and copy, and then over here on date I'm actually going to come up and I just want to paste my values right down here instead of the formula. So then we're going to convert it into a short date. And now I've got the same date, but now I can actually use it as a date number format. And then we're going to hide G and H, so I just select and right click and hide. and then apply all borders to the data. So we're going to select all of my data, Home tab, here's my borders button, all borders, and we want to make all of these a column width of 13.57 and hit OK. And I actually think that there was something I missed. I did on 7, so back on 7, you have to change your borders to match, and so we want to use our format painter to change our borders. So I want this border to carry all the way across. Oh, let's try it again. Format painter, maybe I'll get this going. There we go. So I want those all to match. So sorry I missed that on the instructions. And then once you're done with that, you've changed your columns. The next step is to just save and upload your file. So I hope this video helped. Good luck.